Buenos días, aquí estoy de nuevo, Maye, para contarles un cuento, como es de costumbre cada sábado. Siempre es a las 10, pero hoy se me hizo un poquito tarde porque estoy esperando gente que viene de visita de Iowa y estaba organizándome para recibirlos, así que disculpen por la tardancia. Sorry for being a little bit late for my 10 o'clock Saturday storytelling, but I am waiting for family, my in-laws from Iowa. So I was preparing some things around the house. Even though they're going to stay at a hotel, I still wanted to get some things done in the house in case, I don't know. I don't think they're going to come in because of the pandemic still, but I still wanted to make the house feel special in case they do come in for a minute if they have their masks. A lot of them have been vaccinated, and so have I. So hopefully if they need to use the bathroom or something, I wanted to make sure everything was clean. Anyway, today I am going to start introducing slowly what's coming up the end of this month on the 30th, which is the Day of the Child. It is a tradition in many countries. In Mexico and here in the States, we celebrate it the 30th of April. So there's a lot of libraries that do a lot of activities for kids. There's storytelling online. I know Lolita from Lolita's Kitchen is going to do something sometime. I think noonish. I put it on my calendar, and I'm not really sure, but look it up. Lolita's storytelling for Dia del Niño. I think she has a book that she's going to share. So I thought I would share a piñata book to also introduce what's coming up in May, which is Cinco de Mayo, the festival for the Battle of Puebla in Mexico. So you can making piñatas takes a little bit. So if you're gonna have one, please try to make it in time. Si van a hacer una piñata, háganla con tiempo. Um, para que así esté hecha y seca para que se diviertan afuera, que ya ve que afuera es bueno andar afuera y no adentro cuando viene familia. Okay, so I am going to switch to my English to let you know that, again, I'm going to read the story, The Piñata Quilt. This is one of the books that I didn't read to you when I did them for, I think it was Spanish, I think it was Spanish or Latino history um, month. I know I did some piñata ones, and I even uploaded a piñata video on how to make a simple star piñata. So I'm going the piñata videos. I don't know if they're in Facebook, but I know they are in YouTube. So you might want to look at those in case you want to make one. And I think I also uploaded the instructions. And if I didn't, I'll load them up so that you can follow them. Or if you want them, email me. You'll find my email on my website. And that way you can have all the step-by-step instructions. I also wanted to show off my earrings. They're teeny, but they are piñata earrings. I got these when I went to Jalisco to the International Book Festival in Jalisco, Mexico. They're really cute, see? And so I got these. There was this jeweler, Lali. They have beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So I got me a couple of pieces, and this was one of them. Since I'm a piñata maker, I thought, oh, that is perfect. So I bought me my earrings. Um, Let me see. We also want to start making piñatas for Cinco de Mayo coming up, which is the Battle of Puebla, where a lot of people, even here in the States, celebrated, even more so than Independence Day, which is September 16th, because of the battle against a bigger force, and yet the Mexicans with their farm tools and rocks, whatever they could get. They united with all the indigenous people, and they defeated the French that wanted to take advantage of them and steal their land. So that is a huge celebration in Mexico. They closed schools. So it's not Mexican Independence Day, even though some people might confuse that. Mexican Independence is in September, like I mentioned, the 15th, 16th. Um, but this Cinco de Mayo is celebrated in the United States. I know we do here in Denver. A lot of people parade down major highways with the Mexican flag, and there's a lot of fiestas and things for kids. So it's something coming up. So if you want to make a piñata, either for Children's Day, for Cinco de Mayo, or maybe you have a birthday coming up, make sure to look up my video if you want to make a simple piñata. I do the easiest one, so that way you can learn and practice, and then you can move on to others if you choose to. So let's see what else I need to tell you before I go on. And also, I want to remind you that Mother's Day is coming up also on the 9th, Sunday the 9th in Mexico, and for Mexican moms in the United States, it is the 10th of May, regardless of what day of the week it lands on. So sometimes Mexican American moms like me, I tell my daughters as a joke, well, I have 2 days. I have the American date, which will be Sunday, and then Monday I celebrate again. So prepare yourselves for my two gifts. And so that's just a joke. So anyway, I hope that you can also remember the love box that we did for, I think it was Valentine's, that we did, and I showed you how to do that. Just a little simple box that has a little cute poem. That is also in I know it's in Facebook, so scroll down and look for it, because that's a really beautiful, simple gift that kids can make for their parents without spending anything. And I showed you how to find things around the house to make the little gift box. And if you can't print the poem, maybe they can write it. So the thing is that if you want to make it'll be really special if little ones to do it for the moms or the grandmas or any loved one, but especially for Mother's Day coming up. Let's see. Um, I think I've covered everything I wanted to tell you, remind you. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a story. Then I will come back when I'm done to translate into the Spanish for those of you that prefer Spanish or only understand Spanish. All right, so this is a piñata quilt written and illustrated by Jane Tenorio Coscarelli. So this is, I read this poem, and it's a kind of cute poem. Um, Let me see. So here's the first illustration. She looks like a grandma. She's making piñatas. It's kind of how I am. She's here with her bun, which I normally do. She's got all white hair. I'm almost there. I'm growing my gray hair out so I could look like a grandma, which I am. A great grandma, too. I did have a grandchild, but I think I'm a pretty good grandma. Anyway, just a joke, but I love being a grandma. Anyway, early in the morning hours, let me see if you can enjoy this beautiful illustration while I read. In the early morning hours, Tia Lily sat sewing the last stitches on the last stitches on the quilt she had been working on during so many late nights. There, finished, she said to herself as she folded and placed the quilt into a large box. Placing the lid on the box, she smiled, remembering the day her nephew came knocking on her door so many years ago. I shared with you once that I think it was during the Native American unit that my tia, my aunt Susie, was a quilt maker, And she would have this frame that took up pretty much her whole living room. And she tied the fabric, and she would take these bristly combs that are like wiry, and she would take the wool and she would comb it and comb them out to be flat, and then she would put that between, sandwich it between her two fabrics as large as a quilt, and then she would go underneath and she would sew up and down to make knots in each section so it wouldn't puff up. It was really fascinating. I always wish I could have found her little comb so I could have that as my recuerdo of her, my a special gift that I wanted to keep to remember her, because that was so poignant in watching and being fascinated by how she made these beautiful quilts with this old way of making them. So anyway, so this is an Auntie Lily was making this quilt. Standing on his tia's big porch, Albert could barely stand still. Let me show you Albert. This is the character Albert. The thought of his birthday coming soon filled his body with excitement. His loud knock on the screen door announced his arrival. He had come to ask his tia to make a piñata for his birthday, which was an important task for such a small boy. His tia Lily was a very clever lady, the official piñata maker and seamstress for the family. She would make the piñatas and sew all the party dresses for her nieces and nephew's birthday, spending hours at her sewing table cutting out tissue paper and cloth. So I am the family's piñata maker, but the tradition is being passed down to my daughter Angelica, my mom. I taught her too, and then she ended up making them better than I did because she put more detail, took more time, and hers were really pretty. Also, mine were not too bad, but anyway, I don't know how to sew. I bought a sewing machine, but I really never had time to learn. So I gave my sewing machine to my granddaughter because she sews a little. Who is it? Called Tia Lily from the kitchen. It's me, Tia Albert, he replied, shouting through the screen door. So here's Albert as Tia Lily opens the door for him. Uh, oh, Albert, how are you? What brings my favorite nephew to my door? Asked Tia Lily as she opened the door. Come in, she said. Albert followed her into the kitchen. I love when my little ones come to visit. He stood there nervously with his hands in his pocket. Tia, Albert mumbled. Yes, Tia Lily replied, trying not to laugh. Albert looked down at the floor. What do you think he's going to ask? He said, my birthday is coming, Tia. Oh, yes, your birthday is coming, isn't it? Tia replied, knowing exactly what he was going to ask. Yes, said Albert. And guess what he's going to want? Can you guess? Yes, answered Albert. And you want me to make you your piñata, don't you? Asked Tia Lily, smiling. Yes, replied now shy Albert. Of course I will, Albert. A birthday is not a celebration without a piñata. She looked at Albert's smiling face. You and I will go into town and pick out all the paper and glue we will need for your piñata, and all the candy and toys too. Albert asked. Yes, all the candy too, my little one, Tia replied. So I still do. Let me see, when was the last piñata I made? I don't do as many because of the pandemic, because we haven't been celebrating a lot. But I was hoping to make a bunny one for Easter, but I ran out of time. I did put a picture of my daughter with a bunny one. It's so much fun. It's not hard to make. Well, I'm used to it because I practiced, but with practice, you can do any figure, and that's what I do. I can do any size, any character. But the special ones, the custom made ones, are very time consuming. So I only take the time to do those for my family, because if people ask me and they want to buy it from me, my time is valuable. So it would take me hours and hours, and what I could charge for them is not worth the time that I spend on it. But I do spend that time, like I say, for special people like my grandkids. So anyway, Albert is looking forward to his piñata with lots of candy. So yeah, those are a lot of fun. And here they go, looking for the supplies. I actually have everything I need here, because when I am asked to do a workshop or a special birthday comes up, I know I have all my things here, because I bring my paper from Mexico, and I always have the string, and flour and water are easy, because I always have flour because I make my tortillas. So I have all the supplies, even the balloons. I just have to buy the candy when I make them for our kids. But other than that, it's all here. As they were walking down the sidewalk towards town, Tia Lily turned to Albert and asked, "What shall we make for your piñata? A donkey? A cake? A moon? A clown?" Albert was quiet. This was a hard decision to make in just a few minutes. "A star!" Albert yelled out just a few moments later, "with bright red, green, blue, yellow, and orange." "Okay," laughed Tia Lily, "we'll make all the colors in the rainbow." Oh, so that making the star is the easiest. For me, it takes me hours. I know my grandkids loved dinosaurs, so I would make dinosaurs or different characters. I made a couple of unicorns. I did one for my niece in Iowa, and one for my granddaughter here. So those take me days and days, I think over a week. And it's tiring. So, like I say, I only do those for family, because it is a labor of love and a very tiring project. After they returned, Albert hurried unpacked all the tissue, paper, and glue. So here they brought their paper and glue, and they've got their scissors and everything they need. He separated the tissue on the table into piles by color. Tia Lily brought in some old newspaper. "The newspaper will be our first coat of the piñata," she said. Albert watched as his tia showed him how to cut the paper into strips. So all of these steps I have in the video. So you'll know what the materials and how you can improvise if you don't have that kind of paper, how you can buy the streamers from Walmart or some other department store that carries paper, and so different things that you can use. Then she mixed the glue to make paste. This is where you take your water and flour to make the paper mache mixture. When I was a little girl, my father would take me to town, and we would buy a clay pot for the center of the piñata, then cover it with paper. I remember breaking these pot ones. They're the old original piñatas. I remember whacking those in Mexico at my cousin's birthday party. But anymore, these old-fashioned piñatas, they are not made anymore. They make them with balloons, and that's how I make mine. I blow up a balloon, and that becomes my base. So the balloons are not as heavy. We must have the pace just right, or too much will make the piñata too hard for someone to break, Tia said as she stirred the glue mixture. So in my video, I'll show you the consistency of that paste so that it will work out. Now dip the strips of paper into the glue. Cover the whole balloon, she instructed. So you can dip them in the glue, or you could put the glue directly on the balloon and then place the paper on the balloon and then put another glue coat over the paper. I do it a little bit different because when I dip it, it gets all crumply and it tears, and it's not as easy for me. So I do it a little bit different, but it all depends what works for each person. So then you cover the whole balloon, she instructed. Good, Albert, you are doing a great job. And when they finished, Tia Lile and told Albert that they must wait for the first layer to dry before they could add 3 or 4 more. Come back tomorrow and we will put on another coat. Okay, said Albert as he kissed his Tia Lily goodbye. Now here, this Tia, she does one coat. I do it all at once. I can coat the whole thing, put on the the cones, and even put the color paper in one fast step. So that works for me pretty easy. So I can whip out one of those piñatas in an hour, less than 2 hours, all of it done. And I think that's what I do on the video. The day Albert walked home with a skip. That day Albert walked home with a skip in his step, thinking about all the candy and toys they had bought for the piñata. He stopped and thought. Here he is thinking as he's walking home. He thought, if I add more glue to the piñata, it will be too hard and no one can break it. I could have all the candy and toys to myself. He scratched his head thinking some more. Yes, that's it, he said. Oh my goodness. He's being a little bit greedy. He wants to keep all the candy. So remember what the tia said, that the consistency had to be just right, because if you make it too thick, it will be too hard. Oh, ay, ay, ay. This Albert, he's being sneaky. Look, while Tia is on the phone, he is adding more glue to the paste. She uses glue, like I said. I use just the flour and water, so I don't have that trouble. But here, oh my gosh, let's see. Each day, Albert returned to his tia's house to work on the piñata. Every time his tia left the table, he would add more glue to the paste. The piñata just got harder and harder. Finally, he added the star points out of cardboard and glued them to the center. Then they decorated the piñata with colored tissue paper. I make my star points with what do you call them? The cones out of newspaper. This part, I roll out the newspaper, roll it in, and make these cones. Albert's eyes widened as he looked at his piñata. Oh, it is so beautiful. I've made lots of star piñatas, different colors with different cones. I was just looking at my daughter's when she had her quinceañera. We made one when I graduated, when I retired. We just make piñatas for all those fun occasions, and they are beautiful. Those I go out and make them really big with lots of cones and very beautiful because they are special occasions. I hope to make a PowerPoint with all the piñatas I've made so that I can tell you and show you all the ones I've made throughout the years, starting with my very first one when my first daughter, Angelica, turned 1. That was my very first one that I tried. And boy, was that hard, because I decided to make her a Raggedy Ann doll. And it was so hard to get the legs and the arms in that when I would put one arm, the other would fall, or one leg, it would also tear off. Took me weeks and weeks. Now I can do them a lot better. Hi, I see people. Mundo, hola, mijo. Hi, Rosy. ¿Cómo estás? Lidia, gracias. Charlene, thank you. for watching. And I think this must be Luis. I hope. Thank you for watching, guys. So anyway, they know a lot about piñatas because that's a tradition, and they sell them in Mexico. So when I'm in the on the border and I celebrate, when we were there, I celebrated my daughter's birthdays, and twice instead of making them because it takes so much work to make the special ones. I remember I made the first ones for my Jessica's first birthday and Angie's fifth birthday. It was a clown theme, so I bought the clowns across the border, much easier. And they're cheaper. They were cheaper. Now everything's more expensive, even in Mexico. And then when my daughters turned, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3, and we were in Texas again, I gave them Cabbage Patch theme. So I bought the Cabbage Patch dolls from Piedras, and they were beautiful. So when I'm in Mexico on the border, I go across the border and buy them instead of making them because it is time consuming and it is tiring. So anyway, each day Thea shared stories of all the piñatas the families had shared. That's what I'm telling you that I want to share with you. Hopefully I can put it together. She loved to see children laughing and screaming as they scrambled on the ground, filling bags with candy and toys. All this work is worth a look on all your faces as someone breaks the piñata open. Will it be you, Albert, that breaks it this year? Thea asked. I don't know, Albert replied, lowering his head. Why is he lowering his head? I think he's feeling a little bit guilty because remember what he did? Here is the birthday. And you think they're going to be able to break that piñata? I don't know. Let me see. Mayra, hi, mija. I know they remember my piñatas because they would go to our parties. Yeah. Anyway, okay, the day of Albert's birthday, it finally came and all the family and friends were there to celebrate. Streamers were hung and and um, party hats made. All the little girls wore their best party dresses and everyone had brought gifts. Soon Albert's mother announced that it was time for the piñata. Albert's father tied the rope to the top of the piñata, making it swing back and forth from the patio ceiling. All the children screamed and wiggled with excitement. The smaller children went first. Albert's mother tied a handkerchief around their heads to cover their eyes. Now that's the fun part. For little ones, we don't do it, but for the older ones, we do tie their eyes with a handkerchief so they don't break it right away. Okay, then she spun them around while everyone counted out loud. 1, 2, 3. Then Albert's mom handed them the piñata hat. Hit it, everyone yelled. Each child took a turn, but no one could break the piñata. The bat would bounce off with each swing. So one of the traditions that is done when piñata is being swung by a kid is people sing a song, and as soon as that song is over, it's time to stop swinging the bat or the stick. They'll sing the song, different versions of Dale, 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 no pierdas el tino, porque si lo pierdes, pierdes el camino. Dale, 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 dale y no le dio. Quítenle la venda, porque sigo yo. And then that means swing, swing, and whack it, and then until it's my turn. And then when the song is over, everybody stops. And then there's a funny one where it says something funny. It says, La piñata tiene caca, cacahuates de a montón. So what it's saying is that the caca means poop, but it's actually the first syllable of peanuts. Cacahuates means peanuts. So it's kind of a tricky song that's fun. And then chicles, is gum, and chi, the first syllable of chicles, means when you go pee or piss, I guess. And it goes, La piñata tiene chi, tiene chicles de a montón. And so it's just a fun way to have people laugh and enjoy the piñata a little bit more. There's other versions. Those are the ones I know. After Albert's father asked Tia Lily, Sister, what did you make this out of? Cement? All the adults laughed, but not Tia Lily. She was so embarrassed. This had never happened before. I'm so sorry, Albert. I have spoiled your birthday party with my piñata. I don't understand why no one can break it. But everyone just kept laughing at the star no one could break. Was it Tia Lily's fault? Hi, Mayra. Stop laughing, yelled Albert. Stop. It's not Tia's fault. Oh, I think Albert's gonna confess. It's mine. It's my fault. I put more glue into the paste to make it too hard to break so I could keep my star and all its candy. You did what? Tia asked with amazement on her face. I'm so sorry, Tia, Albert apologized. You'll never want to make me one again, will you? Tia hugged Albert. That's okay. I will always make you a piñata, little one. Always. Oh, that Tia is pretty nice. Forgiving, understanding. Hopefully, Albert learned his lesson. So Albert's father went over to the star piñata and cut some small holes in it with his pocket knife. Okay, Albert. So maybe that'll make it weaker. Hit it, dale, dale, dale. I guess they started singing. Everyone yelled, and Albert did. Crack went the star, and a shower of candies and toys fell to the ground. Tia Lily and Albert just smiled at each other. After they opened presents and ate cake and ice cream, everyone laughed at the piñata no one could break. So it turned out pretty good. That dad was pretty smart to cut some holes in it to make it weaker so it would bust. Years passed and many piñatas were broken each year. Albert was now too old for a piñata and had outgrown the custom. But as always, friends and family gathered to celebrate another birthday for Albert. But this time he was 18 and soon leaving for college. Tia Lily entered the room with a large box and not a piñata under her arm. What do you think is in that box? Now, Albert is already 18, too old for piñatas. Sometimes piñatas are still fun. Who did we make a piñata for that was an older person that had never had a piñata in his life, and we did it for him as an adult, as a dad? Who was that? I don't remember because they had never had a piñata, so we went all out and did it for them so they could relive a childhood they didn't have with a piñata for them at least once in their lifetime. That was really special. I have to remember who that was. So she came in with this beautiful box, and can you guess? Take a guess what it might be? Hmm? Can you predict? Um, Albert, now a tall man bent down to kiss his tia's graying temples. How is my favorite tia? Albert asked. Good, good, nephew, answered Tia Lily as she sat down. What is this you brought? A gift? What, no piñata, tia? Albert asked as he started to unwrap the box. Tia smiled. You are too old, Albert. Now open the box. Tia's a little older now, and Albert's taller. I've gotten a lot older and grayer as the years come by because I started making this piñatas 42 years ago, for when my daughter turned 1. So that's how long I've been making them. As Albert opened through the tissue paper in the box, a beautiful star appeared. Everyone sighed as Albert held up his, guess what? His star quilt his tia had made. So she combined her talent as a quilt maker and a piñata maker and made this beautiful gift. Oh, how cool. I wish I could sew to make this for my little ones. My granddaughter's grandma from New Mexico, no, my granddaughters from Mexico, from that live in Florida have a grandma that sews. So she's made them special quilts that are really beautiful, customized with their names and special sayings. I think, I don't know what they say and what gifts they have. I bring them piñatas from piedras, the ones that when what was it? That was the new character. I bought them those beautiful warm blankets from Mexico, and because I can't sew, so I buy them. Tia May, so all the colors of the piñata no one could break, because this is how she made this piñata: the yellow, the red, the green, the blue. Tia, it's my star, Albert whispered. Yes, said Tia Lily. Remember the cement one? Everyone laughed, especially Tia and Albert. So now Albert takes all his school books off the bed after he finishes studying for the night, uncovering the beautiful piñata quilt from underneath. Look at how cool he has that quilt. Every time Albert looks at his quilt, he remembers his tia Lily and all the birthdays they shared together, along with memories of growing up and all the smiles she brought. But what he remembers the most is the day that no one could break the piñata. The end. I like this story. I had read it, but somehow it just makes more sense. Oh, I use this. I actually copied this because it shows directions. Then I have more details. So this book has these directions so you can make your own star piñata. A little bit different than mine, but you can do whichever one is the easiest. That's why I tell you the books are really special. I wish you guys, I hope you've been buying books as gifts because kids need to read more and look at all the special things. Quilt instructions. Maybe I should study this to see if I can somehow make a little quilt. I don't know. I think it's too challenging for me, and I've got so many things going on. But look at how beautiful she made this quilt with the piñata, and then on the edge, the borders, it has some material with Mexican designs like hats, Mexican hats, guitars, cactus. Um, I don't know what else is here. Kind of hard to see, but it's beautiful. Look. Oh, I wish I would have learned to make these with my tia Suse. That would have been such a beautiful memory. Okay, let's see. So here's the patterns. They show you all of these steps to make it. So if you're a sewer, maybe you can take this on and do this. So see if you get a hold of the piñata quilt or Google how to make quilts, and I bet you can make something special like this for someone special. It'll be a beautiful, memorable gift that they will cherish forever. Anyway, so here's Janet. She's a Latina that wrote this book. I hope someday I will have my books of my piñata making and all the different things to follow traditions. I'm going to try to publish some kids' books. So anyway, I have to say I need to move on so I can do the Spanish version because my family from Iowa should be on their way to the house. And I still need to get some things done to get ready. I want to make a cake to welcome them, even if we eat it outside. I'm going to make some beans because I think they're having carne asada at my daughter's. So I can make some beans, drunken beans, frijoles borrachos, so that they can have that. And then I need to go to the store to bring them some stuff from the Mexican store to send to my other sister-in-laws because I know they have a Mexican store over there, but I just want to send them a little something. Maybe send them some fresh tortillas, maybe some fresh sweet bread. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story. I know I did. I remember that Dia del Niño is coming, so try to do something special for your little ones, even if it's a note telling them how special they are. I have, I think I was gonna send it. I don't know where it is, but there's this little pamphlet that says different ways you can show your child that he is loved, he or she is loved. So just little notes. I love you. You are special. Little notes to make them feel loved and appreciated, and just to make their day. Do something special for your little ones on that day, because it's been a tough year for all of us, especially those kids that have been stuck at home or dealing with the pandemic. I think just brightening up their day will be special. So try to make something special. I also made, I know I put them online, vegetable little insects. If you look on my Facebook, you'll see them. Just a little special treat that you can give them, a little note, a little card, maybe a homemade gift or a store-bought gift. Something just to know they know that you remember their childhood. Anyway, Luis, I hope you guys like my story and remember all the memories of us being together in Texas. I know I always try to have a piñata when we have our get-togethers. So hopefully we can do that again soon. All right, I will see you in a little bit. I went over, oh my gosh, it's past 40 minutes because I'm a talker, as you have found out. But I like to share past experiences and make connections to my stories. So I will say, I'll see you later. If you want to hang around in about 5-10 minutes, I'll start the Spanish version of this story for people that only know Spanish or they want to practice their Spanish. So hang around if you want to hear it again, and or send your little ones to listen to the Spanish version. It's good to be bilingual, so hopefully they are learning some Spanish as they listen in English first, because it makes sense, and then when they hear it in Spanish, they make that connection and they bridge the two languages. Okay, adios. See you in a little bit. All right, take care. Love you. Hugs.